The comic collecting hobby is about to get swarmed with screaming Swifties. And someone's got to show them the ropes. And most importantly, warn them about us. Welcome to the Paper Chase channel. So X-Men 130, the first appearance of Dazzler in comics, has made the hot top 10 list for multiple weeks now in the comic community. And it can only mean one thing. A colliding of worlds is on the horizon. As a lot of us already probably know, and you Swifties watching if you've stumbled upon here, heavy rumors and speculation is really suggesting that Taylor will be portraying a character in Deadpool 3, Marvel's most musical mutant, Dazzler. And it is very evident that the comic book market is preparing. It's like comic speculators are just waiting in dark alleys with copies of Dazzler, just waiting for some poor Swiftie to stumble by with, 3 months of babysitting scrap. And I'm here to say, not on my watch, damn it. Not until you know the basics about comics. Swifties, this one's for you. A comic is basically like a novel, but like a graphic novel? No. That's way too cool. Most comics are thin, flimsy, and frail, like many of us readers sitting behind them. You see, Swifties, this is what the guy or girl went home and read 6 years ago when you turned them down for that prom date. It is one of the finest forms of escapism that has ever graced pop culture, and damn it deserves some respect. So your prelude to your tips here today is know this. The comic book has been around since the 1930s. It has evolved in such a way that the different avenues of collecting comics are as diverse and convoluted as the Marvel's multiverse itself. So tip number 1, there's no wrong way to collect. Number 2, visit comic shops. This is something that I myself have a monthly struggle with, but at least I know the importance of it and can help teach that to you. The comic shop is one of the great American retail anomalies. In a time where high-definition media is available in an instant and in the palm of your hands, there still stands a fucking bookstore. An LCS, which is what you will come to call it, is more of a community. They chat about what they're reading, what books they've acquired, and have very thought-provoking debates. We dive deep into back issue bins. We're searching for filler books, rare books, and maybe even a key comic book or two that slip through the shop's cracks. All this so we can build our collection affordably and keep the community healthy. The comic shop is the heartbeat of comic books. Try to exercise it. Number 3 is know your FOMO. What does this mean? FOMO stands for fear of missing out. It's probably what you're feeling right now watching this video. It is that urge for you to be the first one in your friends group with the actual comic book that Taylor's character is based upon. Don't feel ashamed. We've all been there. Now, FOMO isn't 100% bad, as long as you remember this. It is your God-given and American right to want something right now or to want it first. Just remember that that mindset comes with a cost, and it's not always the most financially smart way of thinking. If you're cool with that and you're a grown adult who can spend your own money, there are thousands of comic book sellers that will be happy to take it. Tip number 4 is Dr. Doom is the man. Jack Kirby's the king. Todd McFarlane is also the man, and Stan Lee is the one above all. Tip 5, beware facsimile and reprints. Tip number 6 is use the Key Collector app. This is not sponsored by them whatsoever. I don't even think they know this channel exists. But don't let anybody tell you that the Key Collector app is bad or has ulterior motives of market manipulation. That is pure ignorance. There's nowhere else you can get that much key comic book data on the fly other than that app, and it will help you be able to check things like facsimiles, reprints, and first prints. Number 8 is beware single issue comics. Let me ask you, if I was getting into Taylor Swift, would you recommend that I go to Apple iTunes and buy every single song for 99 cents? Would you recommend that I go buy all of her individual CDs if those are still a thing, or maybe they're vinyls? No, you would probably say get her greatest hits or get a Spotify membership and listen to all of her songs for $9.99 a month at your own pace. Well, comic books are very similar. There are decades of comics and continuities that have gone on all the way up until this point. And if you were trying to play catch up, there's no better and more affordable way to try to catch up than things like trade paperbacks, apps like Marvel Unlimited, or even YouTube comic audiobooks, where they actually tell you what's going on over some of the interior arts. It's really, really cool. Number 9 is comic book grading is not a scam. It is essential for the longevity of the comic book hobby. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but you gotta respect it. Number 10, and probably the most valuable tip for you, the new Swiftie collector, is revisit your why. Revisit your why. What does that mean? As you evolve as a collector, you might start getting into chasing rare comic books, comic book grading, comic book selling, or even the ever so evilly deemed comic book speculation. You see, some of those avenues of collecting stray away from the root and the start of what the comic book hobby was intended to be. That's okay. That's why the hobby grew, and that's arguably why the hobby still stands existing today. But your why is special. Your spark into comic book collecting and reading should always be reignited. If you're only here in this video or buying these comics because Taylor Swift was in this movie, and not because of the characters on the pages, well, your comic book lifespan will be very short-lived and quickly forgotten. And to that we say, well, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you bag and board that X-Men 130 before you toss it into the closet right next to that Kansas City Kelsey jersey, or sell it back to me. I hope if you're new to comic book collecting, you found some of this useful. I want to hear below, what are your thoughts on Taylor possibly being cast as Dazzler? How do you think it's going to affect the comic book community? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you on the next page.